friends, this is Kat Francis with MassMu Museum Yoga virtually. I'm reminding you that I teach Hatha Yoga, a little further breakdown of each pose, more time to breathe, things like that. So continuing on to my series from last week, we focused on head, neck, and shoulders. So now I'm going to move further down the body to the ribs, bringing space from the rib cage to the navel, really doing those side bodies. So focus on that core. Not necessarily crunches and sit-ups and things like that, but really creating space in room, thinking about posture, comfort, just really working with alignment. So let's go ahead and get started. So first, go ahead and take a seat on your mat. If it's comfortable to sit like this, putting a pillow under you, sitting with your legs to the side, just make sure you flip-flop so you're not favoring one side or the other, or sitting crisscrossed, half lotus. So you're gonna go ahead and take 3 breaths just to kind of ground our practice and get started. So you're gonna take a nice deep inhale, relaxing the shoulders away from the ears, feeling nice and straight, palms facing up, inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. So you do this 3 times. Go ahead and close your eyes. Just feel nice and calm, still, enjoying this nice Saturday morning if you're doing this right when it posts. If not, that's okay. So inhaling through the nose, nice and deep towards the navel, and exhaling out the mouth. Inhaling in the nose and exhaling out the mouth. One more time, inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. We're going to reach the arms up overhead, reaching towards the ceiling, stretching nice and tall, creating that length, stretch, 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 and then we're going to fold forward. Inhaling nice and long and exhaling fold. Three breaths here. And then we're going to gently walk the hands back towards a neutral position. You're going to stretch the right arm up towards the ceiling. Bring the left forearm towards the left side, bringing it to the mat. Reaching, reaching, reaching towards that left side of the room. Feeling that nice side body stretch. And then if you want to take it a little further, opening up towards the ceiling. And just 3 breaths here. Inhaling and exhaling. And back to center. And release. We're going to take the other hand, reaching up towards the ceiling, taking your left hand, reaching, reaching, reaching. Right forearm comes to the right side of the mat, reaching over towards that right side of the room. 3 inhales here. I have my camera turned vertically rather than horizontally because we're going to be doing mostly standing poses. So I've tried to figure out the best format, but that's why it's turned so I'm hanging off the screen a little. So one more inhale and then exhale. And back to center. Stretching nice and tall and release. I'm going to do a couple gentle twists, so just placing your hands on your knees and then twisting towards the left. Nice and gentle. We'll go deeper with this later. And then back to center, and then over to the right. And then back to center and release. We're going to warm up the body by doing some sun salutes. So go ahead and stand at the top of your mat. We're going to inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, fold forward, reaching for the ankles, shins, or toes, relaxing that head down, and grabbing opposite elbows and ragdolling forward. Go through these sun salutes nice and slow. Just breathe. And that nice stretch, maybe kind of bounce with it, go side to side. Placing hands on shins, gazing forward, inhale. And then exhale, placing the hands on the mat. And then back to plank. Breathe here. And then exhale, lowering down to the mat. Pull those shoulders away from the ears. Hug those elbows in. Do you see how my shoulders change when I hug my elbows towards my ribs? And then we're going to inhale, cobra. And then exhale, downward dog. So back to your knees. And then hips up and back to downward dog. I'm going to pedal out the feet since it's our first downward dog of the day. Rotate your eyes of your elbows as though they were headlights towards the front of the room. So you get that nice external rotation of the shoulders. Pedaling out the feet. Gazing towards the navel. And shaking your head yes or no. Just to relax that neck. Good. Breathe. I'm going to gaze up towards the mat. Towards your hands, Inhale, step forward, hopper step forward, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up to standing, reaching up overhead. Hands at heart center. We're going to do that twice more. Inhale, arms up overhead, reaching. Exhale, fold forward. Hands on shins. Inhale, gazing forward. Exhale, fold. Placing hands on mat. Step back to plank. Lowering the body to the mat. Hugging elbows in. And then inhale, up dog. And then exhale, downward dog. 3 breaths here. Inhaling and exhaling. Gaze towards the front of the mat. Hopper step forward, flat back. Inhale all the way back up to standing. Good. And release. We'll do that one more time. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, fold. Inhale, hands to shins, flat back. Exhale, plant the hands back to plank. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, lower the body to the mat, hugging those elbows in. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward dog. 3 breaths here. Checking in with your middles of your fingers pointing forward, elbows facing out. And then we're going to lift the left leg up in the air for 3-legged dog. Open up that hip by bending that leg and lowering it to the ground. Other side, right leg reaches up in the air, 3-legged dog. Bend that leg to open up the hip and lowering it back down to the mat. Now we're going to take the left leg, bring that knee to nose, curling in the body, and then extend and lower it back down to the mat. Take the right leg, Stretching it up, three-legged dog. Bringing that knee to nose, crunching the body in, stretching it out, and releasing it back down to the mat. Gaze up between the hands, hop or step forward to flat back. Inhale, exhale, fold. Inhale all the way back up to standing. Good. Kind of shake that off. Whew. Hopefully you feel nice and warmed up and ready to stretch. Okay, now we're going to go over our standing poses. So go ahead and come to the front of your mat, start with the left side. Feet should be hip width apart, and by that I mean just in line with your hip bones, not outside of your hips, in line with your hip bones. Go ahead and lift the toes and then bring them back down, just to make sure you feel nice and grounded. And we're going to take our left leg and slowly step back, bending the right leg. Check in to make sure you can see just the front of your just a bit of your big toe on the right leg. Hips squared to the front of the mat. Left heel lifted. You should feel a nice flexing of the right here. Sorry. I'm filming this very early too. And we're going to go to a warrior one. So inhale, arms up overhead. Good. Breathe, stretching nice and tall. And then we're going to open up to warrior two. So your right hand will come forward, left hand back. Release the shoulders from the ears, gazing over that front middle finger. Imagine energy shooting from the front hand to the back hand, stretching you from back side of the room, front side of the room, nice and long and strong. Then we're going to reverse our warrior, bringing the left hand back to the left thigh, plant that back heel, stretching the right hand up towards the ceiling. And breathe. Feel nice and strong and long, like you're reaching towards the heavens. And go ahead and bend that right arm so that your forearm comes to your bent right leg. Palm facing up. Left arm stretches up overhead. Good. Hugging that left ear. Pinky's edge of the hand. Left hand going towards the mat. 3 breaths here. Additionally, you can kind of look up towards the ceiling to open up that chest. Gaze down at your right foot. Cartwheel the hands back up to warrior two. Step to the front of the mat. Now we're going to do the other side. Bring your right leg, lift it, step back. Heel lifted at this point, bending that left leg, checking in to make sure you can see a little bit of the big toe. Also making sure your hips your knees not flailing out too much. It's in line. Hips squared with the front of the mat. Lift the arms up for warrior one. 3 breaths here. And we're going to open up the arms to a T, bringing that back foot in at a 45-degree angle for warrior two. Releasing the shoulders away from the ears, gazing out over that middle finger, feeling nice and strong, feeling secure and sturdy in this pose. Check in with your back toe. Are you putting weight on it? Are you able to lift it? You're going to feel nice and grounded. We're going to reverse our warrior by bringing the right hand to the right back thigh. Bringing that left hand up towards the ceiling. Stretching. Feeling a nice stretch in that side body. And breathe. Return to warrior two. You're going to bring the left hand so that the left forearm comes to the bent leg. Right hand reaches up overhead, hugging the ear, pinky edge towards the ground. If you want to open it up a little further, gaze up towards the ceiling. Feel a nice stretch in that side body. Gaze down at the front foot. Arms cartwheel back up to warrior two. And step at the front of the mat. Good. So since we're focusing on less standing poses today, I thought I would do also a nice breakdown of my favorite yoga pose, tree pose. So go ahead and if you want to come to the side of your mat or top mat, whatever's comfortable and you can see the camera easily. If you need to go against a wall, that's fine too. Feet hip width apart. Remember, we're lining it with our hip bones. Okay? Big toes facing forward, feeling nice and strong and grounded, rooted like a tree, relaxing the shoulders down. Bringing the chin down just a little bit. Now we're going to bring our focus and awareness to the left leg. So just kind of think about that leg. Also, try not to lock your knees. Maybe do a little bounce, a little bend in those knees. Now focus our attention to the left leg. Feel nice and strong and sturdy and secure. And we're going to bring the right leg, the heel just off the ground. Just the heel. Just allowing all that weight to distribute in the left leg. We're going to slowly bring that right leg off the ground. And you're going to find a point to gaze. So about 3 feet in front of you, finding a very still point. And once you feel comfortable, just bringing that right knee up just a little bit more. And then you can bring your foot to your inner shin, thigh, not your knee. And once you have some balance, put your hands in prayer position and put them out to the side, overhead. Sorry. I was wondering what that was going to be like to sneeze in tree pose. Hands in prayer position overhead, or hands in prayer behind the back. Let's do 3 breaths here. If you wobble, it's totally fine. Trees move with the wind, just like we can wobble in poses, right? Go ahead and release the hands and place them on your hip. Undo the foot, bring the knee forward, the leg bent, and then slowly plant it back down. Sometimes one side is easier than the other, so if you're like, oh, I nailed it on the one side, and then you're falling over on the other, totally normal. Or maybe the other leg that we just did was all over the place for you, and this is the side that works better for you. Okay, so go ahead and readjust yourself, feet in line with hips. We're going to bring our awareness and focus to the right leg. Feel nice and grounded, like a tree, like you're rooted, you grew roots into the ground. Feeling nice and secure. I know these metaphors sometimes sound so woo-woo and weird, but just the visuals help, I promise. Okay, now once you feel nice and strong in that right leg, we're going to bring that left heel off the ground. Knee coming forward, leg bent. Making sure your hips stay square, and we're going to slowly lift that left leg, finding your nice secure gazing point, feeling nice and strong. Knees come up. Now putting your foot on your inner thigh, shin, or ankle, not your knee. And then once you feel good there, you can kind of play around with different hand positions. Prayer, your hands out to the side, overhead prayer, like a tree with branches, or prayer behind the back. And we'll do 3 breaths here. Just remember to focus on something that's stable and not moving. Release our hands, nice and slow. Hands on hips to feel nice and stable. Bring that knee forward, the legs still bent, and then slowly lowering it to the ground. And then go ahead and kind of shake everything out. You know, get everything, all your circulation going through the rest of your body. Let's go ahead and take a seat. So remember, feet out in front of us for Dandasana or staff pose. Imagine there's a wall in front of your feet. Keeping them nice and strong. Hands to the sides to help lift that body up. Imagine you're pushing the ground away from you, gazing forward about 3 feet in front of your feet. Nice and tall. Imagine you're like a pillar, nice and strong, this active pose. 3 breaths here. We're going to go ahead and inhale, arms up overhead, and exhale, fold, grabbing toes, shins, ankles, whatever is within reach. Peace fingers on your big toes, whatever is comfortable for you. You're going to inhale tall and then exhale, fold. Release your hands. Slowly walk your hands back up, stacking your spine like a strand of pearls, nice and slow, just bit by bit. And releasing the shoulders. Take your left leg and bend it in. Take your right hand, place it between your foot and your thigh to make sure you keep space. See what happens if I don't do that? My knee's out here, my foot's out here. Or if I have it like this, it's at an angle. But if I take my hand, place it between, it's nice and straight. We're going to hug the knee, inhale nice and tall, and then twist over to the left, placing the left hand behind you, nice and tall. Inhaling tall, exhaling twist. Flexing that right foot as though it was against a wall. Inhaling tall, exhaling twist. Inhaling tall, exhaling twist. Gazing forward and slowly untwisting your body. And we'll do the other side. So straightening that left foot, left leg, keep the left foot flexed. Right leg comes up. Checking in left hand between foot and thigh. Hugging that right leg. Right knee, inhaling tall, exhaling twist, bringing that right hand behind you. Inhale tall, exhale twist. Inhaling tall, exhaling, twisting a little deeper. Inhaling tall, exhaling twist. Going to gaze forward and slowly untwist. Bring both feet out in front of you. You're going to bring the left leg out to the side. Bring that right foot in towards the inner left thigh. Inhaling tall, twisting towards that left leg, checking in, navel in line with the big toe. Inhaling, arms up overhead. Exhaling, twist. Folding forward. Inhale long. Exhale, fold. Inhaling just a little longer, exhaling just a little deeper. And then we're going to slowly walk back up to neutral. Other side, bring that left leg bent in, right leg stretched out. Inhale, arms up overhead, reaching, twisting towards that leg, checking in, navel, big toe. Inhaling tall, and exhaling fold. Inhaling tall, exhaling fold. Inhaling and exhaling. Just getting a little deeper, bringing that chest just a little closer to the knee. And we're going to slowly walk those hands back up to neutral, just stacking the spine nice and slow, and then returning to center. I'm going to go ahead and lie on our backs for these poses. I'm going to bring my mat just a little more further so you can see. So with bent legs, we're going to lie on our backs. And go ahead and take a few breaths here. Inhaling and exhaling, allowing those shoulders to grow into the mat. Your lower body just feeling nice and grounded, knees pointing up towards the ceiling. Hands on stomach. Close the eyes. Take a nice deep inhale. And exhale. Inhale and exhale. We're going to bring the knees towards chest. Just give them a nice hug, rolling side to side, nice and gently. Just kind of massaging that lower back. Maybe going in circles with those knees. And then the other direction. And then back to center. You're going to bring the shins parallel to the mat with the legs hovering up over. Relax the arms up to a T on the side. And we're going to lower those knees over to the left, nice and slow. Gazing over to the right, nice and slow. If you can go all the way to the ground, that's fine. Maybe take your left hand, putting it over the knees. You can also use your hand like a kickstand to hold the legs up, hovering. We're going to do 3 breaths here. Gazing over towards the right, knees over towards the left. Close the eyes. Inhale and exhale. Gaze towards the ceiling, relaxing the arms, and then slowly bringing the knees back up to center. Still letting the shins hover parallel to the mat, arms to a T. You're going to slowly lower them over to the right side. Like I said, if you need to use them as your hand as a kickstand, or if you can go all the way to the mat or the ground. And then gaze over towards the left. 3 breaths here. Feel that nice, deep twist in the core. Inhaling and exhaling. We're going to gaze back up towards the ceiling, relaxing the arms, and then just bringing the knees back to center. Stretching your left leg out and then your right leg out. Relaxing them down to the side. You're going to reach your arms up overhead and just stretch as long as you can stretch. I know my feet and hands are off camera. Like I said, I want to focus on standing poses, so I'm kind of cheating right now. But we all know how to stretch. Just like you woke up from a long night of sleep, just stretch, stretch, stretch. Ooh, feel that nice lengthening in the ribs. Feel them pulling away from the hips. Just nice space. And then release. And one more time, stretch and release. You're going to bend your knees so that your knees are pointing towards the ceiling. And we're going to windshield wiper them back and forth. So just nice and slow, bring your knees over to the right. And place your hands on your hips to help them feel grounded. Gazing up towards the ceiling. Slowly windshield wiper your knees over to the left. Back to center, nice and slow. Over to the right. Back to center, nice and slow. Over to the left. Back to center. And over to the right. Back to center. You're going to have a little bit of space from your bum to your hips, or for your heels, sorry. Knees pointed towards the ceiling. Relax the shoulders back down to the mat. Place your hands on the sides. And on an inhale, we're going to lift those hips up towards the ceiling. So we're going to gaze back towards the ceiling. And then on an inhale, lift those hips up. Check in with your neck. Make sure you're not crunching your chin down to your chest, but there's some space there. Inhaling, a little taller, more space right there. And then go ahead and see if you can clasp your hands under you. So you're in a nice bridge. And then unclasp the hands, bring them back down towards the side. And then slowly release the hips so that you're bringing each vertebrae down one by one. Good. We're going to do that one more time. So placing hands by sides. We're going to take a nice breath. We're going to inhale, lifting the hips. Clasping the hands underneath. Releasing the hands, lowering the spine, vertebra by vertebra. Good. Here, bring your knees in for a hug, going back and forth. Just doing a nice roll, hugging them. Then we're going to draw circles with the knees, going one direction. And then go in the other direction. And release the hands. Release the feet to the mat, knees still bent. This time we're going to bring the feet mat width apart. And you're going to allow the knees to come in together. Arms up to a T. Gazing over to the right. Go ahead and close the eyes. And 3 breaths here. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhaling back to center. Then we're going to allow the knees to open up. Bring the bottoms of the feet together. So you create a nice diamond shape with your legs. Feet are meeting. You can place your hands on your inner thighs to help kind of encourage them down. And then we're going to gaze towards the left side. 3 breaths here. Inhale. And exhale. Inhaling. And exhaling. Inhale. And exhale. Release the hands. Guide the knees back together. Place the feet mat width apart. And then one last time we're going to windshield wiper them back and forth. So slowly over to the right. Back to center. Slowly over to the left. Back to center. Over to the right. Back to center. We're going to set up for Shavasana. For Shavasana, you can do it in the goddess pose with your feet meeting together, legs in the diamond shape. If this is a pretty big hip opener, this is totally fine. You can also put cushions under your knees to help kind of support them during this. You can lie in corpse pose, or you can do legs up the wall. Legs up the wall, you're going to go against the wall. You're going to lie on the ground and you're going to have your feet against the wall. This it's good to have everything go against its usual flow. Like normally we're standing or we're upright. So having everything kind of go against your typical gravity, I guess, it's really nice for the body. This is actually my favorite for Shavasana. Also, if you're doing yoga and you don't want to leave too sleepy, like sometimes corpse pose can do for you, this is a good one because this is an energizing form of Shavasana. It's relaxing enough, but afterwards you feel kind of oddly like you're like buzzing with a little bit of energy. So if you do this, you can also put a little bit of a cushion under your booty if you need to. Just relaxing, so imagining there's a wall behind my legs. Either form of Shavasana is fine. We're going to go ahead and lie here for a few minutes. So go ahead and set up in the position that works best for you. And once you're in your position, pulling those shoulders away from the ears, allowing that lower back to feel heavy, allowing there to feel space in the ribs. As you inhale, you kind of feel them coming apart. Checking in with the chin, just bringing it a little bit towards the chest and then lifting it back up. Closing the eyes, allowing the eyelids to feel heavy, space between the brow, ears kind of melting off the sides of the head. Leaving a little bit of space between the teeth and releasing the tongue from the roof of the mouth. Take a nice breath here, just allowing your breathing to return back to natural. And as you lie here, just giving yourself gratitude for taking this time to work on your body, having a moment to breathe, returning to movement and stillness all at once. I hope that you leave this practice with a nice tall spine, just feeling like you maybe grew a few inches taller, right? Just feel that nice space, so you can breathe a little better. And as we wrap up with the Shavasana, I like to give some sort of literature for you to walk away with. Ram Dass, who passed away this year, I highly suggest maybe doing some digging into some of his literature. He's very well known for his book Be Here Now, and he's part of the whole meditation movement. But whether you're maybe just wanting to be on Instagram looking through things, or the library is actually about to start opening again. Saturday they have drop-offs. This is kind of more of a local shout out, but I know Stark County Library has where you can drop off books and then you can pick up books. I think it's June 1st, but you want to double check that. So maybe researching some meditation experts like Ram Dass is a really good one, and I just often will read just even little few sentences that he said just to kind of think over for the day. So I guess what I would like to end this with is maybe challenging you to look into some haikus, or I highly suggest Ram Dass, but reading over a few of those things and maybe just picking one a day, just like something small, like haiku length, and spending the day with that. And now that we have this beautiful weather, finding time for yourself this week. I'd love to challenge you to do this, and I hope you do this. Laying on a blanket, sitting in the sun, just letting the sun beat on you for just a few minutes, feeling that wind, closing your eyes, and maybe thinking about, that phrase or that quote or that haiku that you read and what it means to you. Just spending that moment. I think we're so busy, and maybe that's the one positive about right now is we've been given some time to focus on the mind. So yeah, I hope you find time to meditate or do a little reading just to think over some things. And if you find a really good haiku or quote or anything like that and you want to put it in the comments, I would love to read it. Yeah, just let me know what thoughts maybe stuck with you this week. All right. Thank you for joining us for MassMu Museum's virtual yoga. I hope you have a beautiful weekend, and the light in me honors the light within you. Namaste. Thank you.